This is Brian Stevens with Mortgage Shots of the National Real Estate Post. Today I have Angela Hern and Kerri Monday with me, and Realtors, lenders, stop and watch this entire video because this could be transformative for both of your businesses. Lenders, you want to pick up more deals, this is the way to do it. Realtors, if you want to move properties, this is the way to do it. They've developed a site called Bid This Property. You can find it at bidthisproperty.com. And I actually saw this up close and personal. One of the realtors I work with is using this property. They listed the property for $300,000. It ended up selling for $427,000. If they had listed that property for $427,000, it would still be sitting on the market today. There's not even a question in my mind because the house was kind of thrashed. Now, the open house that I worked, this was what was very illuminating from a lender's perspective. It was packed. I mean, I had a line of people to speak with the entire time I was there. We're primarily getting investors, at least on this property, which means we've got sourced and seasoned funds to close. We got people who've got all their, their stuff together, their paycheck stubs, W-2s, everything. And so this was a really wonderful experience. And I picked up a ton of opportunity from this. I got like 6 investors from just working an open house for literally an hour and a half. So if you're a realtor right now, this used to be specifically a KW product, as both Kerri and Angela are with KW, but it's now open up to any realtor in the country. And so what I want to do is talk a little bit about this today. And realtors, I would highly encourage you to reach out to these ladies and talk with them about it because I think it could change your business. And frankly, I think this is a direction we're going to see houses selling going forward. As our market continues to slow down, and it's going to, auctioning properties is a very unique and wildly effective way to get both buyers and future sellers. So Kerri and Angela, how are we both doing today?
Great.
We're doing great.
Great. Well, let's reboot this one. Angela, tell me a little bit about how you started this product.
We started 10 years ago. We got introduced to online auctions 10 years ago by accident. And then I went to one of their classes that they were offering, this other company, and learned how to do it and started using it. Kerri got introduced to it by coming through one of my open houses on the product. She fell in love with what we were doing. She's like, how do I get this magic pill? So we started doing them together, teaching other agents because we were asked by our brokerages to teach the other agents. And that was 10 years ago. Since then, during the pandemic, we decided to create our own platform, put into it our thoughts and what we had gathered from other agents, what they wanted to see in a platform for agents to use. And we created Bid This Property. And we launched in 24 officially for Keller Williams, did that for about a year. And now we've opened up to other brokerages, mostly because other brokerages have been hounding us to give it to them.
Kerri, why don't you explain to our viewers how the nuts and bolts of this whole thing works? If a realtor wants to jump in and be a part of it, tell us what that looks like.
So it's actually very simple. You just have to get certified, which is typically a 2-hour class. And of course, 2 hours sounds like a long time to figure out how to use a piece of software, but it's not just a piece of software. This is actually changing the whole mindset of how you're conducting business, because a lot of people are just not used to this style. So you're changing the way that you learn to talk to the buyers who are coming into your open houses, or the people that are doing sign calls to find out, what's going on with this property. But you're also changing the way that you're talking to other agents who typically have a lot of, they put up a lot of defense in the beginning of talking with you until you explain how the product works and how everyone remains a essential part of the transaction. This is not technology taking over the agent's job. This is the agents using technology in order to create successes like the property you were just talking about. Once the agents hear how it works in full, then they really love the idea of it. But you want to know who really loves it? The buyers. The buyers love the transparency surrounding this. And when they're at the open houses, they're asking, why isn't everyone doing it this way? They want to know what they're up against. They want the ability to be able to move forward and put down an extra couple $1,000s if that's going to get them the property. But going back to your question, how can one get involved in something like this? It's just certification. And then once you're certified, then there is some coaching that we offer that can help people through their first few transactions because it is so different.
Now, Angela, I know that you've been doing a lot of traveling and talking about this around the country. How is this being received by agents, and how many agents are using this right now?
So we have 200 agents across the United States that are certified. We have more getting certified every day. I've been taking it to other countries, not other countries. I wish I was taking it to other countries, other states. Florida has jumped on like you would not believe. Now, I would say with the market that we have, Florida is probably one of the states that got hit the hardest. I think they've been in a buyer's market since early 2022. They're jumping on by the loads. I think I have 12, 15 agents, and I have 5 other market centers or offices that just contacted me that want it. They're using it in Florida. It's getting picked up everywhere else. I think we're in 11 states now across the U.S.
Yeah, Kerri, watch out. Angela's going to be, I need to go to Sardinia in the Mediterranean. I think I'm going to go market this in Sardinia in the Mediterranean.
We all do.
A moment ago, Kerri, you were talking about transparency. And I think this is really, really important, and why I think the buyers like it. And frankly, why the agents are going to come to like it is when you say transparency, this thing is completely transparent. Everybody knows exactly where the bids stand. And so, which is going to work to also your seller's advantage, because like a true auction house, everyone knows where the bid is, which means if you want to up the bid and this is how you can raise the price of the value of that property, you have total transparency. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah. So on the website, it functions very similar to like an eBay style bidding, with a couple of major differences. One of the major differences is it doesn't have a hard stop time. There is a suggested stop time, but if anyone's bidding in the last 5 minutes, it will extend it for another 10. In order to give everyone a chance to come back and up their offer. And then there are some other bidding sites out there that make you put large deposits down or pay to play, if you will. And we don't do that either. So it's extremely user friendly. The buyer, all they have to do is register to bid, which is the short form. They can register to bid, or their agents can register to bid for them. But you had mentioned before that this is a really good lead generation opportunity, not only at the super busy open houses, but also because buyers are registering on their own. And a lot of times these are buyers that needed to get pushed off their couch. And the price point at which it's being offered is such that they run off their couch to the open house, fall in love, go back to their computer, register to bid, but they don't have an agent. So there's buyer leads falling all over the place and you're getting full contact information.
Right. Now, don't you need to get do you have to have a pre-qual or pre-approval in order to put a bid in? Is that right?
Yes. That's the only barrier of entry, or the price of entry, is a pre-approval letter or proof of funds if they're all cash. And that's where folks like you come into play. We love having you at open houses because we need someone who can act quickly and get these buyers pre-approved so they can participate in the bidding.
And guys, think about this, loan officers in particular, guys and gals, there's a list of people. It's not the one who buys the house. It's the other 48 who are going to buy a house. And if you have their information, you have a list of highly connective, convertible potential clients out there, prospects out there that could really change your business. Listen, I only work with recession-proof real estate agents, agents who actually move business and have a plan of attack of what they're doing. And this is the most effective plan of attack that I have seen so far. So let's get down to brass tacks on this thing. What's the cost?
It's $99 to get certified. It's a one-time fee. And our feeling is we're not looking to make money off of that. We just want the agent, or even the lender, because lenders are welcome to come through our class too. You probably should, so you know what to say if you're at the open house, so that they pay attention to those 2 hours, because we're going through a lot. And like Kerri said, we're trying to change your mindset. And believe it or not, it's not the sellers or buyers who fight us on it. It's actually the agents who have a hard time with the mindset of, wait, what? We're going to price this property at what price to get
Yeah.
a bidding war? But the market always corrects itself. So that's not the issue. The issue is teaching the agent what to say, how to run comps properly, and how to handle it once you've got the listing and what to do afterwards. And that's what we're teaching. So it's a one-time fee. You can come to as many classes as you want afterwards. We'll hold your hands through it. The idea is that we want you to be successful. We want to help you grow. So for $99, I mean, I don't know what system or program out there that you can pay $99 one time for and walk away with a ton of leads off of every single listing that you take, buyer leads and seller leads, because when you're doing these, the neighbors are watching you. They're seeing all the cars in front of the house where there's no room to park. They're seeing the amount of people coming in and out. And they're also seeing that, hey, you just priced this house really low. What are you doing? So we teach the agents how to talk to the neighbors too, so they can get listing leads as well.
There's got to be a cost per transaction.
There is. It's 0.5% of the sales price once it closes escrow.
Okay. And
But
again,
if it doesn't close, they don't pay. We only get paid when the agent gets paid.
I always say when you have somebody who's got one transaction, it's their little delicate bird in their hand. They want to look after every penny. What it really comes down to is processes. It's not that deal. You have to have processes in place in order to truly be successful. And this really allows for lenders and realtors both alike to create a process. So even though you're paying 0.5%, you say, oh my God, well I'm going to lose $800. No. What you're going to do is you're going to pick up five investors. You're going to pick up more listings. What would you rather have, that 0.5%, or would you rather have another listing?
Well, here's the deal. Sellers are willing to pay a higher commission on the listing side because the buyers do have to pay a buyer's premium. And that's covering a bunch of cost that the seller would have had to pay. And so agents on the listing side, we're not losing any money. We're making more.
But you know what the whole thing is? Honestly, Kerri, it's like, if you could buy dollars for quarters, how many dollars would you buy? And I see this the same way. All right, so you're paying 0.5%, but if it's going to perpetuate your business to where you get more listings, more investors, and more opportunities, and you can go ahead and basically roll this snowball downhill, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I frankly, for the price of it, I think it's absolutely inconsequential. I think everybody should look at this. So how many properties have you guys moved?
Hundreds.
How many properties have we moved? I'd have to go look on the site. I think we've moved close to 100, maybe more.
Now, both of you are engaging in this. Angela, I know that you've done this. How many properties have you personally moved doing this?
I would have to go back 10 years. So when I first started doing this 10 years ago, I went from taking maybe 12 to 13 listings a year to taking 50 to 55 listings a year, and moving and going from maybe 18 closings a year to 32 units a year. Granted, I'm in California in the Bay Area, so our prices are a lot higher than other areas. So I don't have to move 100 houses a year like some of the other agents in some of the other states. But it's been pretty consistent ever since then that I'm moving quite a bit. This year, I'm not moving as much because I'm traveling more. I'm focusing more on getting it into the hands of the other agents, but I'm still having a great year. I'm still surpassing what I did last year. So I would say I've moved in the last 10 years, maybe 300, 400 properties.
Without getting into gory details, and I hope I'm not overstepping my boundaries here, but I happen to know this for certain, that Angela last year, in one of the worst markets in the history of our country, made more than 99.9% of realtors make in the greatest of years. That's the truth, and I know that to be true. And a lot of it has to do with this. How's it working out for you, Kerri?
Similar. Unlike Angela only uses Bid This Property for every single one of her listings. I run my business as it's one of the menu choices. Similar to Angela, I would say that I've probably over the last 10 years moved over 500, possibly 600 using this method. And it isn't the only method that we use to move property, but it is the method that we use to win listings because we come to the table with something different than the other agents we're competing against. And even if they don't use the sellers, even if the sellers don't use Bid This Property to sell their home, they've chosen us because we had out of the box idea thinking. We were the smartest person that came to the table with choices of different strategies.
Well, then that's really huge. I mean, especially where, I guess we have more listings than we've had in years past. But if you're out there trying to win a listing or win a bid against somebody else, you got to do something to stand out.
Correct.
You got to go do more than I'll hold your house open and, we'll price it competitively and, all these things. You've got to do something that makes you stand out. And this is certainly an opportunity. And testimonials right here from both of these agents, again, producing massive, massive numbers in a market that is down to historic lows. The open house to me was really illuminating. How important are the open houses to this? So Kelly on my deal, I believe they closed on the 18th. So she held the house open Saturday and Sunday, at least the 2 weeks. Actually, it might have been 3 weeks. But she held it open, and every time there's, like I said, a line out the door. Open houses, I got to imagine, are a huge part of this. I would think if you're an agent and you want to participate with this, that would be a big part. Is that true?
Yes. So what we do is we teach them to have the showings done during the open house rather than letting the agents go through on their own during the week. And the reason why that is we're creating a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
So if you ever sold, I've gone through 3 recessions in my career in the last 34 years and maybe a hiccup.com. That's the whole thing during a recession is you want to create in the mind of other buyers coming through the door that everybody wants this property and people want what other people want.
Yep.
So when you create that mind that there's constantly people walking through the open house, and rather than the people coming through the door and acting like the agent has 2 heads on their shoulders and they don't want to talk to you, everybody wants to talk to you because you're doing something different. It creates this excitement around the open house that all of a sudden now your time at the open house is very, very huge and successful because you're not sitting there babysitting in a house. You're actually being productive. And you're creating the mindset for the buyers. I need to act quickly and I need to do something because somebody else is going to take this house over me.
Yep.
So the open house is huge.
Yeah, it creates a frantic environment. It really does. I think with Kelly, we didn't see a whole bunch of movement in the first week. Second week, we saw some bids coming in. That last week, it just skyrocketed.
Everyone waits to the last minute. They've been conditioned by sites like eBay to wait until the last minute. So then, they don't get it up too high before the end. But the way we have positioned our tool, with that extension of 10 minutes, if anyone bids in the last 5 minutes, there's no benefit to waiting until the last minute, but people still don't want to show their cards too early.
And if you're trying to find a reason to call people, listen, loan officers, realtors, you have a list of all the people who are thinking about bidding on this. These lists can go 100 deep. These are people who are actively looking to buy homes. If you want to find a reason to call them, call up that list. You get a list of 75 people, dial for dollars. Say, hey, are you still interested in that property? This property is still available. Here's where the bid is currently at. Got to go check it out. Remind them, and oh, by the way, do you need to get pre-qualified? This could be a conduit not only to sell that property, but it's a conduit for you guys to pick up other buyers, other listings, and generate other opportunities. Frankly, I see this as a passive opportunity. You got one lender, one property, but if you got 100 people who are actively pursuing, looking at buying a house, how many opportunities are out there for realtors and lenders? This thing, the sky's the limit. The numbers are here to prove it. Listen, guys, go to Bid This Property at bidthisproperty.com. If you'd like to reach out to Kerri and Angela, their information is here. Feel free to reach out to them. Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I'm a firm believer in this. Like I said, I left that open house and I immediately called up another one of my agents and said, you wouldn't believe what I just saw. So check this out. I think it could be a big game changer for your business, especially in these hard times. In the good times, whoa, watch out. This thing's really going to blow up. Angela, Kerri, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.